weapon that could end the world. The nuclear bomb was crucial and one of the main weapons in the Cold War. If the silent war between the Soviet Union and the West had turned hot, the weapon stored in this bunker would have been used to destroy Western Europe. Luckily, this never came to reality, but the ruins of the Cold War still remain, deep in the Czech forest. In this episode, we'll be taking a deep dive into this unique piece of Cold War history. The bunker is located in the forest, in a remote area of the Czech Republic. In the past, this bunker seemed to be covered with dirt, so we had to enter it via this tight hole. And so we went into the bunker, entering a large open space. This open space was the main hall where the nuclear warheads could be assembled and prepared for the final launch outside. It can be seen as the main hall, the central piece of the bunker. The warheads once stored here could be used on the Soviet Scud missile system. Next to the main hall were the reinforced storage areas. Right here was the room where the nuclear bombs were stored, not just one, but many back in the day. Ready to be launched to destroy Western Europe. To understand why these were stored here, we had to go to the end of the Second World War. Nazi Germany was defeated, making the Soviet Union and the United States the most powerful countries in the world. Europe was split into two spheres of influence, one being the capitalist US-aligned countries, mostly based in Western Europe, and the other being the now communist Eastern European countries. In the middle stood Czechoslovakia, which was a federation of what is now the Czech Republic and Slovakia. Although much of the region, such as Poland and Hungary, was under full control of the Soviet Union, Czechoslovakia retained quite a lot of autonomy, even hosting no Soviet troops in the country, which was unique among the countries behind the Iron Curtain. A sense of self-determination was felt among the people of the nation. In 1968, a new communist leader was elected, by the name of Alexander Dubček. He was a moderate and had a new vision for Czechoslovakia. He wanted to implement a so-called communism with a human face, including freedom of the press, freedom of speech and more economic decentralization. But the Soviet Union, under the then leader Brezhnev, saw this as a direct attack to the system. So, during the talks, a surprise force of a staggering 500,000 soldiers was sent to remove the leader and cancel these reforms. Massive protests were held in Prague, which resulted in the Prague Spring of 1968. In the end, the autonomy that Czechoslovakia had enjoyed was gone, and around 100,000 troops were now permanently stationed in the country. And so, these bunkers came into existence, quickly built after the Prague Spring, as tensions were rising. Besides the large hall, more rooms were located here, such as sleeping quarters. Soldiers had to be present around the bunkers all the time, ready to respond quickly when needed. The soldiers stationed here were Russians. Other nationalities weren't permitted on the premises during the Cold War. The majority of the equipment was stripped a long time ago, first by the retreating Soviets and later by scrappers. But the old filtration system with Russian texts still seemed to be in quite good condition. These places, shrouded in mystery, are the true forgotten remains of the Cold War, once among the most important targets of their time. In CIA documents now declassified, these bunkers are widely mentioned and were considered important spy targets. The end of these once secretive structures can be traced back to 1989, when Germany was reunited into one country. After this, the collapse began, also in Czechoslovakia. The over 100,000 Soviet soldiers had to leave Eastern Europe, taking all the equipment and leaving the infrastructure behind. Much of what was left was deemed unusable or irrelevant. This was also the case for these complexes. Quickly after the Soviets fully retreated, the bunkers were stripped and eventually covered up by dirt, hiding this dark piece of history. What the fate will be of these structures is unknown, but with them being so remote, they'll likely sit for many more years as a reminder of a Europe once split in two.